DeWanna Bonner is an absolute legend. And this is one of the lowest of the low things that I've seen in sports.
DeWanna Bonner is now officially off the Indiana Fever roster after missing 5 games due to personal reasons. What started as a mystery is now confirmed. She's no longer with the team. Fever fans, who stood by her during her absence, aren't just upset, they feel let down. And it's not only because DeWanna was brought in to be a steady veteran presence for Caitlin Clark or help the team chase a title. It's how and why she reportedly chose to leave that's rubbing people the wrong way. It's been a roller coaster season for the Fever, and losing DeWanna adds to the drama. But here's the thing, it might actually be a good thing in disguise. Recent signs point to this being a turning point for the team. Let's take a closer look, and if you had a feeling DeWanna was on her way out, give this a quick like, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates from around the WNBA.
When DeWanna signed with the team, she said at this point in her career she's playing for championships and obviously have championship experience in those veterans they brought in. How much does that get to add to the culture or just what it takes to win at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, DB has been tremendous. Like, she's such a selfless leader. Like, she's here to win. She says that, but she really means it.
Heading into the offseason, hope was high for the Indiana Fever. DeWanna Bonner was seen as a key piece in their push for a championship. With multiple All-Star nods and championship rings to her name, she brought experience few could match. Even at 37, she was still delivering strong performances on the court, but her real value wasn't just in her stats, it was in her leadership. Last season, the Fever, led by rising star Caitlin Clark, made an exciting run to the playoffs. They were one of the league's hottest teams. But when it counted most, they came up short, getting swept by the Connecticut Sun in just 2 games. After the loss, even Caitlin admitted it, the team lacked playoff experience and veteran guidance. That's exactly why DeWanna was brought in. Early on, she looked like the ideal fit, saying all the right things, putting the team first, and stepping into that veteran mentor role with ease.
And also joining a team that's just impressive. I think everybody's seen the second half of their season, and it was an unbelievable season. And I just felt like they had a dynamic core, and I just wanted to be another puzzle piece into what they had. And hopefully I can give my knowledge, my leadership, and give it to, these young players. So when I retire, they can, pass it along. So I feel like they're young, but I also feel like they're a great young. They don't need too much coaching and too much leadership. They kind of figure it out themselves, and I'm just hoping that I can add to it and make basketball a little easier for them, and as well they can make it a little easier for me.
DeWanna got a hero's welcome the moment she arrived. Fever fans quickly embraced her, buying her jersey, cheering her on, and showing her more love than she'd probably ever felt in her career. Like the other off-season signings, she seemed genuinely excited to be in Indiana. The energy was electric. She was part of a team with real championship hopes, in what had become the most talked about basketball city in the country. At least, that's how it all seemed.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
I mean, yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like, we're excited for the season. Thank you for being here. So it's been really, really refreshing. And,
you get that on the streets?
I'm sorry?
You get that on the streets?
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere I go, is just, can't even go to the grocery store without someone saying how excited they are. So it's just been really refreshing. I'm excited to be here.
Even Caitlin Clark, despite all her talent and maturity, was clearly excited to have DeWanna on board. At just 23, Caitlin is still learning and growing, and she saw DeWanna as the kind of leader who'd do whatever it took to win. She even said so herself in an earlier clip, but was that really the case? DeWanna's time in Indiana started strong. She moved up to 3rd on the WNBA's all-time scoring list during the Fever's blowout win over the Sky. But right after that, things began to unravel. Her performance dipped fast, averaging just 7 points per game, less than half of what she scored the previous season. And while some of that was on DeWanna, it also raised bigger questions fans and analysts were already asking. Did the front office actually build the right team around Caitlin Clark, and did head coach Stephanie White have a clear plan to make all the new pieces work together?
I don't know what Stephanie White's doing exactly. I don't have a clue. Again, I don't know what the identity of this team is. I really don't. It seems like they play a different way every game. One could say, well, that's her game plan. She's game planning for each team. How's that working out for you?
Whatever was behind DeWanna's struggles, things took a surprising turn after just 9 games. She was suddenly out of the lineup for personal reasons. The timing raised eyebrows, especially since it was the same game Caitlin Clark returned from an injury to face the Liberty. Not long before that, head coach Stephanie White had also stepped away briefly for personal reasons, so fans responded with sympathy, assuming Dana might be dealing with something serious, maybe even family-related, but as the games went by, with no injury report, no updates, and no return in sight, concern gave way to confusion. Fans were left in the dark, unsure of what was really going on.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB.
Then the rumor mill kicked into high gear. Fans noticed that Dana had removed fever-related posts from her social media. There were even reports that her jerseys were no longer being shipped from the team store, and some said her banner had quietly been taken down from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Whether all of that was true or not almost didn't matter, because the team stayed silent. And that silence only added fuel to the fire. With no answers, fans started doing what fans do, hunting for clues, connecting dots, and, deep down, bracing themselves for bad news, and in the end, they were right.
Multiple league insiders are reporting to Annie Costabile, of course Annie Costabile is breaking this news, of Front Office Sports that DeWanna Bonner has quote-unquote no interest in returning to the Indiana Fever. Instead, wanting to be in landing spots with either the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta Dream.
At that point, it wasn't just internet chatter anymore. Several trusted news outlets were now reporting the same thing. Dana Bonner was essentially done in Indiana naturally. All eyes turned to head coach Stephanie White. With the story breaking wide open, fans expected some answers, maybe even a bit of honesty about what was really going on, but when she was asked about it, nothing. No comment. Total silence.
Obviously, there were reports today that DB doesn't intend to return to the team. Just what conversations have you had with her and with the front office about that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations recently, really been focused on the group that we have right here and what we need to do to position ourselves to win.
Dana's agent stayed quiet too, and let's be honest, that said a lot. If the reports were wrong, it would have been easy to clear things up. A quick statement, a tweet, anything. But the silence? That wasn't just no comment. It felt like confirmation without saying a word.
No comment is a comment. No explanation is an explanation. If we were trying to get back, we would have said, we're trying to get back. We're trying to work some things out behind the scenes so both parties are satisfied moving forward. We don't even get that.
Remember how we all thought Dana was the selfless veteran, the kind of player who just wanted to win a championship and help the team however she could? Well, if the reports are true, that attitude didn't last long. As soon as she was bumped to the bench, things changed. It seemed she wasn't okay with a smaller role. Instead of stepping up to mentor the younger players or support Caitlin through the early season challenges, she just checked out.
There are multiple sources told Front Office Sports the fit in Indiana was off in the beginning. Bonner, who was signed to be an anchor to win with championship experience for the team's young core, was expected to be a starter. So basically, she stunk it up, got benched for Lexi, and was pissed. But it is what it is.
I'm about to explain why this might actually turn out to be a blessing in disguise. But right now? This is a tough pill for Fever fans to swallow. They welcomed Dana with open arms, saw her as a leader and a culture builder, the person who would help guide this young team to a championship. And when she disappeared, fans didn't just forget about her, they genuinely worried about her well-being. Now, to hear she might have walked away simply because she didn't like coming off the bench. That leaves fans feeling shocked, and, honestly, betrayed.
She's on our team. We want to support her. Let's just give her some grace. And now we get some clarity on that situation. Now we get some understanding of that situation, and all of that grace can get thrown right out the window.
You have people fearing the worst for her family. You have people fearing the worst for everything. You have people saying that they hope everything's good with DeWanna Bonner. It turns out she apparently is just pissed off that she wasn't starter.
And here's something else to think about. Dana isn't usually very active on social media. But right after the news broke, while she was still officially on the roster, still getting paid, and still listed as out for personal reasons, she chose that exact moment to post on Instagram, not about the game, not about the team. Just a casual post, like she was having fun.
Posted it during the game at like midnight or like 11 p.m. At like 11 p.m.
By itself, an Instagram post isn't a big deal. But when you hardly ever post, and then drop one late at night while your team is mid-game, and while you're on a mysterious absence with fans worried about you, it just doesn't sit right. Whether Dana meant it that way or not, it left a bad feeling among fans. And speaking of bad feelings, that brings us to the next part of the story. Sources say things in Indiana felt off from the very beginning. Yes, Dana's performance was down. She was scoring less than half her usual points per game, but this seemed bigger than just basketball. The team chemistry wasn't clicking. And some even think her partner, Alyssa Thomas, might have played a role in her decision to leave.
You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Indiana Fever fan base last year? And all the things that she heard coming from this fan base last year? That's off. You guys remember what Alyssa Thomas said about the Angel Reese Chicago Sky sham investigation, right? Oh, if Angel says she heard it, then we believe that she heard it. That's off, right? Right.
Here's the truth, if you don't want to be there, you've got to go. The longer Dana stayed on the roster, the more her uncertainty hung over the Fever like a dark cloud. And the team's management clearly agreed. They let her go within 24 hours, but that only solves part of the problem. The hole Dana left behind is bigger than just her. The Fever are now facing the loss of another player soon.
She got benched, she couldn't handle it, I want out. She's not playing well, she's getting criticized, I want out. Her significant others call this fan base racist on 2 occasions now, I want out.
The Fever have made some changes, but there's still a lot to figure out. We're only a third of the way through the season, and the team is holding steady, but it's already been a tough ride. There was that hate speech investigation that didn't lead anywhere. Caitlin missed 5 games, and although her comeback against the Liberty seemed like a fresh start, the very next game against the Sun saw her get hit again. Luckily, the penalties were minor, just a couple of upgraded fouls after the fact. Sophie Cunningham was the only one to push back on the court. With all the attention on Caitlin, it's got to be weighing on her. We have to focus on her because this team, and really, the whole league, centers around her. Right now, she's still battling through it.
This opens up a lot for the Indiana Fever, as well as them having to scramble for what they're going to do next. Because, as I'm sure many of you know, Demiris Dantas, who is a big, she is part of the front court of the Indiana Fever, she will be gone from the team after tonight's game against the Seattle Storm.
She had another rough game against the Storm, and something I've been seeing a lot on X this past week is fans noticing it too. Caitlin just seems off, like the spark and joy are missing.
Caitlin Clark continues to struggle. One of the worst games of her career, if not the worst game of her career against the Storm. I don't even think she had like the playmaking prowess that she had in the first half against the Aces or the Valkyries. Still wound up with 9 assists, 8 turnovers though, 0 of 6 from 3.
Losing and having a bad game can definitely affect how you come across in a press conference. But you have to wonder if everything going on, like the Dana situation, the tough game against Connecticut, and other challenges, is starting to wear Caitlin down. Dana was someone Caitlin really admired. She was genuinely excited to play alongside her during training camp and even said she wanted to win a championship for her. Now, not only is Caitlin disappointed with how things ended, but she's probably also frustrated by what it means for the team moving forward.
I think for the challenge for myself going forward is just, continue to pour into every other aspect of the game, and I can continue to have an impact in, all those other areas. I thought I got to the rim well. It's just, certainly a tough shooting night, and, you got to find a way to continue to shoot and remain confident in myself, because I know I put the time in. But for me, I don't feel like it's, anything that's off necessarily, but yeah, it'd be nice.